For the moment when you're getting a briefing on a national security issue and everybody turns to the president and says, "What are we going to do, Mr. President?" Until that moment happens, it's hard to understand the enormity of the presidency. We are a country awakened to danger and called to defend freedom. On 9/11, I had a lot of emotions. Mostly I was determined, and I vowed on that day that I would use all assets at my disposal within the law to protect the American people. I ask you to uphold the values of America. We're in a fight for our principles. And our first responsibility is to live by them. I decided it would help if the president showed up to a baseball game right there in New York.
We went to Yankee Stadium for the World Series. That big crowd, the first responders, the firemen and the police, we were still reeling from that terrorist attack. It was really important to George to show that the president wasn't afraid to be there.
When I'm under the stadium warming up, and Derek Jeter, a great Yankee star, says, "Don't bounce it, they'll boo you." And so I'm thinking, "Don't bounce it, they'll boo you," as I walk out to the mound. The baseball felt like a shot put.
He threw a strike, and it was pretty terrific.
Baseball, a sport I love, was a part of the healing of our nation. I believe one develops a set of principles through a faith, how you were raised, and where you're raised. One of the great inheritances of my life was not only loving mother and dad, but being raised in Texas.
George and I grew up in West Texas, where people are hardworking and very solid, and there's no pretension.
Midland, Texas is a place where neighbors help neighbors. It's a place of outdoor barbecues. It's a place where Little League baseball was important. It was a great place to grow up.
And I think that influenced both of us. Influenced us in the way we lived our own lives and in what we think is important.
I ran for president for a variety of reasons. One, I wanted to make sure that the economy was strong. Secondly, I felt like we needed to bolster our military in order to maintain the peace. And finally, I thought it was important to promote a culture in which each individual is responsible for his or her decisions. An education system that works, that focuses on results and achieves results, is essential to a vibrant and strong America. I'll never forget going to a high school geography class in a school outside of Houston. I asked the teacher, "What's it like to teach?" He said, "It's a miserable experience because many of the students that come to my class cannot read." Every school has a job to do, and that's to teach the basics and teach them well. If we want to make sure no child is left behind, every child must learn to read.
We truly believe that every child could learn. If people are educated, they can be successful in every other part of their lives.
One of the guiding principles of my presidency was, "To whom much is given, much is required." And America is such a blessed nation that I believe we have an obligation to help relieve human suffering where we possibly can. The qualities of courage and compassion that we strive for in America also determine our conduct abroad. The American flag stands for more than our power and our interests.
George announced PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, in his 2003 State of the Union address.
Many hospitals tell people, you've got AIDS, we can't help you. Now, I fully understand that Americans were concerned when I asked Congress to spend their money on AIDS in Africa. But in life, you've got to set priorities. And a priority of saving lives is a high priority for any nation or any person.
It's a real success story, and it's largely due to the generosity of the American people.
I learned a lot from watching my dad. He was a great president and a great man. He taught me that honesty was essential, that it's important to have a set of principles that you would defend, and that it was important to listen to others. I never could have run and won for governor or run and won the presidency without the support of Laura. Well, I sometimes have a few rough edges, and she's got the capacity to polish those rough edges with her strength of character and her kindness and her loving nature.
I think George and I really are very well matched. He likes to talk. I like to listen.
I don't think you can run for office unless you care about people. I think you've got to have a belief in your soul that each individual is important. One of the great aspects of our country is that we have a culture of service. We've got millions of people who help a neighbor in need. We have people who joined the United States military after 9/11. Any commander-in-chief ought to develop a special bond with the military, because the toughest decision a president makes is to send men and women in harm's way. I've watched our troops bravely defend our country and bravely work to spread democracy. The best hope for peace in our world is the expansion of freedom in all the world. I believe freedom is universal. I believe deep in everybody's soul is a desire to be free. I never wanted to be a wartime president. Life is going to deal you a hand you don't want to play. The question is not whether you're going to get dealt the hand, the question is how do you play it? In my case, I had a set of principles that I had developed throughout my life. And by the time I became president, I was willing to defend those principles. I love America, and I love what America stands for. And to be the president of a country I love was a huge honor. We've been through a lot together. We met challenges and faced dangers. The state of our union is strong. Our cause in the world is right. And that cause goes on.